We live? Are we live? We're live. People, Deluded, I'm back again. I hope you're all doing well and safe. Good afternoon to those of you in the UK. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, depending on who you are, wherever you are. Please make sure you hit the like button. As you all could probably see, Ben White apparently is that much closer to confirming a move to Arsenal. And I know a lot of you in the comments, because I can see it, You've all got your words. Some are saying it's money well spent. Some are happy we've just signed the centre half. Some of you are unhappy with it. It is what it is. Reality is whatever you guys expect or whatever you guys have to say, the man is signing. That being said, make sure you've hit the like button and get your opinions in on Ben White. I'll get into them in a second. But I think with this news, I think you lot just want to get down to the specifics. So I'm not going to do exactly what I typically do and, get the comments in. I'll greet you lot in a sec, but no waffling at the start. I'm going to just dive straight into the information. So if you're just tuning in, you've caught it at the right time. If you're struggling, there's an issue in that regards, people. So yeah, let me share my screen. The first port of call I'm going to go with, hit the like button, is what the Athletic have said, people. Now, for aesthetic reasons, I'll click on some articles in that for you guys, but Athletic was the first people I see reporting it. So they're the ones I'm going to look at, and I'll get into my opinions on Ben White. Keep yours coming in. It is what it is, people. There was a journalist that is from like a Brighton journalist that said Arsenal have had a bid accepted and things like that. In fact, just before I quickly show that, let me actually go and bring that up for you guys as well, just because it looks a bit better to just have everything all up there and whatnot, people. We're back again. Here we go. Now, as you can see here, Mr. Aidan J. Wood, AJ Wood 16, who's a digital producer and obviously Brighton and Hove Albion correspondent and scheduler. So he's got a news. He can confirm a 50 million bid has been accepted by Brighton from Arsenal for the England defender Ben White. Expect this deal to go through now. Personal terms already agreed. Big move for Ben. So with that being said, the only thing left is a medical. Now, obviously, when a medical will take place is anyone's guess. We all know with COVID in place and COVID restrictions probably brought to highlight more with what's going on with Billy Gilmore. Obviously, people can get tests. I don't know if England will have to go out of that the people in the England team would have to go out of that bubble. I don't know how it would work for Arsenal getting medical staff, involved in that. So are we going to say this is going to be done after? You'd expect this move to progress quickly, but, with it being the eve of Germany in the last 16, Ben White, who hasn't played and not been in the squad at times in the Euros, is he in the right frame of mind to be dealing with transfer business? Is this not a thing at all? I don't know. But either way, it looks like this will go ahead. So a £50 million bid has been accepted. Now, what I hope the Athletic has said, what's the specifics of that deal? Is it, when it comes to Brighton, clearly they want 50 million or more up front. Let's hope this is a good relationship between Arsenal and Brighton and we can do what Liverpool did with another coast side town and get players. I want to see Basuma. I want to see Tariq Lamptey when he comes over his injury return, people. So it is what it is, but the bid's been confirmed. The major thing for me is obviously we start pre-season soon. Hopefully he can be involved in pre-season. Obviously what happens with the Euros is anybody's guess and the scheduling. But that's what Mr. Aidan J. Wood has said, people. Away from that, Arsenal are moving closer to reaching an agreement with Brighton and Hove Albion to sign England defender Ben White in a potential transfer anticipated to be worth around 50 million. After seeing their initial advances for the 23-year-old centre-back rejected, the North London club are now progressing in negotiations with their fellow Premier League side, and a deal is not far off. Face-to-face talks between the parties have taken place and their relations are known to be very strong, raising the prospect that a consensus will be found for White to become an Arsenal player. Brighton want to secure a guaranteed fee in the region of 50 million, while Arsenal are currently understood to be proposing a package of roughly 45 million plus another 5 million add-ons. So there's 45 million up front. One may say, how have you found money for what critics might say? It's not that he's not a proven Premier League talent, but you can't convincingly say he's one of the best Premier League defenders or he's a significant upgrade on what we have already. I think he kind of is, and I think we're looking at what the player can be, but people might say, where was the money available for other things? This might be a bit of mismanagement. Right now, I can't lie, it's a masterstroke from Brighton, because again, it shows Premier League teams paying on their terms. They want 45 up front. They don't want 25 now, 20 now, 20 million, but I need to go and ask my cousin who's got a 5 for me, and then someone owes me a tenner. They don't want none of that. They want what they want, and obviously it's negotiation, so a middle ground has to be found, people. So 45 up front's a bit excessive, and 5 million in add-ons, you know, it's a bit excessive. It puts a lot of pressure on White. I'm going to say this before I forget, people. If we are signing Ben White, this is another example of Arteta needing to coach, because he's not the finished article. He's going to live or die by this price tag. We need a centre-half, and we wanted someone. Whether he significantly improves Arsenal's defence is another thing. But for me, he joins us, and we're going to need him to. And at some point, you're probably going to see what typically happens is that they come in, they excel, and then they fall off a cliff. So you're getting this young man in. How are you going to take him to the next level? Because as I said with another live stream, it's not evident as an Arsenal fan what you've done with Gabriel, what you're doing with Martinelli, how you're going to improve Saka. You know, Balogun signed a new deal. How are you going to make him a player of tomorrow? You know, all of these guys, potential is one thing. It's about helping them realize it. You know, so for Arteta, you've got your man. I hope, you know, at 23 years of age, you see he's not the finished article, and you know how to develop him. I hope he fits into whatever system you're trying to do as well. I don't mind Ben White. I think 50 million is excessive. Yes, I would have probably went with the numerous names we could sit here and come up with, but I don't mind it, because he's 23. He's on the cusp of the England squad. Hopefully he can improve to be a regular. Obviously, I don't like to be that sort of guy, but he does know the league. He is English. You know, all of that English heart and all of that jazz plays a part. Young, so he's 23. Hopefully, if Saliba, whether he goes out on loan or not, is here permanently and is an Arsenal footballer in a full-time capacity. So you have a Ben White, a Saliba, a Gabriel. There's three good options there, and you know, hopefully Ben White can become a full England international. That's only going to become with improving and things. So yeah, clearly a fee's been close to an agree. Obviously, a 50 million bid's been agreed. The Athletic are saying there's still talks to be said, so there's I's and T's to be dotted. Probably needs to do a medical. Anything less than a 5-year deal for us would be stupid. Apparently, for what it's worth, discussions continue and are likely to focus on the nature and achievability of those bonus payments, as well as the structure of the transaction. Personal terms should not be a problem. And like you saw here, you know, there's a bit of one party is saying Arsenal and Brighton still to agree certain things, but personal terms are not a problem. One party is saying a bid's been accepted and personal terms already agreed. So there's a bit of loggerheads, and there's still clearly significant progress has been made, but there's still a long way to go in that regard. So apparently there's been interest in White from other suitors, but most of them are under the impression that he is joining Arsenal. No rival offers are believed to have been received by Brighton so far. So you've heard Liverpool, United, all these teams are interested. As of today, allegedly, no one else has come to the forefront. So Arsenal, to a degree, had a free hit at it. We all know he's played in warm-up matches against Romania and Austria, has not played in the tournament. He was released by Southampton, signed by Brighton. And I always mention, you know, I remember this loan spell at Newport. He's been around the blocks and obviously significantly learned from Bielsa. You've seen him put in a shift at right back. You've seen him play at centre-half. You've seen him play in defensive mid. For me, that's where I don't want the lines to be blurred, because you could see how it goes wrong. For me, you've signed him at 23. Can you look at him and say significantly better than any of the options we have at Arsenal? Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. How do you dot T's? Clearly, I meant to say dotting I's and crossing T's. I made a mistake. It's unfortunate, people. I mean, honest football fan, you know, you must be fun at parties. You know, you must be very fun. But moving away from the virgins and carrying on with sane people who understand people make mistakes and actually have a life, you know, please open up another tab and go on Pornhub, because I think you're on the wrong thing. I'm a chocolate darling, but it's not one of them ones there. But moving on with the same people in this live chat, 300 odd, hit the like button. As I was saying, this is why I don't want the lines to get blurred, because I like it. Is it the first choice? No, but I like it, people. I like the ability to be 23. You know, he fits in young and hungry with the other boys. You know, if you get him in, and in an ideal world, Arteta fixes everything that needs to be fixed, we can set a new mentality at this club with, you know, Ben White, Tierney, Smith Rowe, Saka, Gabriel, by God's grace, Saliba, you know, Balogun hopefully can prove a point. My point being, you know, late teens to early and mid-20s, these guys, leaders of the old school, you know, leaders of the new school and not the old school anymore. People that can start a new mentality, because we've tried that now. We've had several of these players have played under a couple of different managers, better yet, and it ain't succeeded. So it's what it is. But my key part is you're going to sign him. make sure there's a system for him to go into, because you see it with all our new signings. Gabriel, Partey, you know, they excel for a second and we revert to type because there's no system. So know how he's tying into your defense. Know how much of a puzzle he pieces, you know. So what? That's Gabriel and White first choice. Tierney left back. Who the hell is right back? You know, so there's that. Make sure you know how you're going to improve him. At 23, he's not the finished article. How are you going to make him one of the best in the Premier League? I'm sure he wouldn't sign for this club if he didn't feel playing for Arsenal and these things couldn't help him realize his sporting ambitions. As rubbish as we are, we do win FA Cups, and he wouldn't sign here if he didn't feel this couldn't boost his England chances or solidifying himself in the England squad. So you've got to show why that there's that. And obviously his adaptability is great. I've seen him play fullback for Brighton well. I've seen him play in midfield and I've seen him play centre half. And you know, I don't want the lines to get blurred because, you know, sadly we have to play Saka all over the place more time. You know, if he's coming into this club, let him be a centre half. Of course, there's going to be times where he may have to fill in that right back in. We might as well entertain him in midfield. I don't mind it. Now, obviously, that means decisions have to be made at centre half as well, people, because you can't have Gabriel, Holding, Chambers, Ben White, Saliba. I'm probably missing out one. There's about 6-7 defenders on the Marie. There's bare of them. So you'd imagine, you know, Ben White and Holding, I think, could be it. I do expect to see Holding, Chambers, and Ben White all in the same lineup. That at a point, I don't mind Ben White as well. Like I said, his adaptability, he gets it. There's scope to improve and whatnot. I'm all for it. But I look at our defensive options now. You've got Holding, who's slightly, apart from Marie, probably the most experienced. Gabriel is the best for me, but he's a bit, you know, rough around several edges. Saliba, who's probably going to go out on loan now. So Holding, Gabriel, Saliba, White, Chambers, Marie, and I'm probably now missing out another one. You'd imagine at least one has to get shaved. So I do think he's looking at it. Marie will be a squad player. Saliba go out and get games. For ideally, Saliba, Ben White, and Gabriel, you lot are fighting it out, you know, for who starts and all of those sort of things. But we'll have to see. Ideally, I did want to see somebody maybe for less money. That's 25, 26. That's a bit more experienced and been around the block in comparison to Saliba, assuming he stays, and obviously Ben White. But we'll have to see, man. It looks like this has to happen, man. But we'll have to see. It seems like, you know, there is a bit of an English premium, but one might wonder, is there a reason nobody's going for him really? And it seems to just be us. But again, it's all about the system for me. But yeah, it looks like we're making progress in relation to Ben White. And if we look at some other articles, people, Arsenal near 50 million Ben White transfer as Mikel Arteta picks England ace over Jules Koundé. I mean, Jules Koundé, you heard he wants Champions League and things like that, and I would have rather Jules, but I'm happy with Ben White. To reiterate, people, Arsenal are close to landing their first summer signing after reaching an agreement with Brighton and Hove Albion over Ben White. The Gunners are still in negotiations with Brighton, but are reportedly closing in on a deal worth 50 million for the England defender. Mikel Arteta has been desperate to bolster his squad, as you lot know. White has emerged as a priority target for the club this month after his strong season for the Seagulls was rewarded with a call-up to Gareth Southgate's England squad for the Euros. Arsenal reportedly had a 40 million bid rejected for the 23-year-old centre-back, but have since returned with an improved offer. So they're just relaying the same thing, people. Apparently, all that remains to be agreed are the minor details of a bonus payments and the nitty-gritty of a transfer fee, dotting I's and crossing T's. You know, so we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. And yeah, man, what is you lot's opinions on Ben White and all of these sort of things? Again, he's perfect for the system because he can play free at the back. That's one thing. You know, he's young. He fits the system. He fits being a leader of the new school. He's English. You know, he can play in a couple of roles. He can play. He can play in a 4-3-3. He can play in a free at the back. You know, he's played under Bielsa. So like Seaman said earlier, David Seaman, fitness shouldn't be a problem. My point is now, you've signed a man. How are we going to make him better? Because I'm sure he's full of life, signing for Arsenal. He's happy, he's excited and things. But okay, you're down to business. Suddenly he looks to the left and the right and he sees Saka, who's probably been, you know, agent Saka, amazing on the field the last couple of days, but agent Saka and briefing his soon-to-be teammate. But it's about the mentality. When he looks to his left and right, who is going to reflect what Arsenal is about? You know, I don't mind it because it helps us. But again, how are we going to make him improve? Because at 23 years of age, many people would sit there and say, not that he's not worth 50 million, but could Arsenal have spent that 50 million better? Could Arsenal have got more value for money? Can you say he's significantly better than what we've brought in? Because people might sit there and say it's another year, another centre half. I don't think any of these things are true, but I have a duty to mention them. I don't, you know, what we can do is if we have a plan just make this 50 million look small. I'm by no means comparing him to Van Dijk, but a lot of people and their nan had something to say about Virgil van Dijk when he signed for big money at Liverpool. It doesn't matter because he's played well. So, and that's for numerous reasons. One, because of his quality and how he's improving as a player, how he's improved Liverpool because it's money well spent, and Klopp and Liverpool can justify it. They improved their system defensively. If you remember, before they brought in Van Dijk and Alisson, they actually improved defensively in terms of coaching, and then them guys have just raised it up a level. So we'll have to see. Obviously, is this a statement of intent from Arsenal? Because many people say, with respect to Ben White, if you got 50 million for Ben White, where, like I just said, you don't know if he's significantly better in them sort of things there, surely we're going to spend money now, you know, because many people would say, Arsenal, we probably have to go to other leagues because we don't necessarily have the money to go toe-to-toe for these sort of individuals, if that makes sense, and fight for them, definitely when they're housed at Premier League rivals in that. So, good statement, man. Hopefully we've had some indirect talks or some little banter has flown between the parties, and, you know, how much for Basuma and Lamptey then? Throw them in then, you know. Thought we missed a trick. Maybe we could have loaned someone else out or done something there, but I don't mind this signing. I'm all for it. But like I said, it's a good signing, and I want it to reflect the manager, young, innovative, and hungry. Like I said, Ben White, you know, you've got Ben White, Smith Rowe, Saka, Gabriel, Tini, Saliba, by God's grace. There's a good platform to build upon, people. So let's see what happens in that regards. But yeah, let me get you lots of opinions in. Sorry, I don't know what the title